I don't think that's textbook in any country.
Just what you've been waiting for. Movies, TV, music, and more. Follow, subscribe, stay up to date. Episodes drop every other Monday. It's the Matt, watch that. It's the Matt, watch that. It's the Matt, watch that podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Matt Watch That podcast, the place for reviews, rants, and randomness. I'm your host, Matt Seroski, filmmaker, film fan. Each episode, I'm going to watch a movie or TV pilot that I probably should have seen but never got around to. It could be a recent favorite, critic's choice, or cult classic. To join in on the conversation, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've discussed, or suggestions as to what I should see next, use the hashtag MattWatchThat on social. Before we start, I wanted to kick off May by celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. All of my reviews, rants, and randomness in this episode will feature actors, directors, writers, and musicians who are part of the AAPI community, and whose culture has had an impact in America. According to the AsianPacificHeritage.gov website, the month of May was chosen to commemorate the immigration of the first Japanese people to the United States on May 7, 1843, and to mark the anniversary of the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad on May 10, 1869, whom the majority of workers to lay down the tracks were Chinese immigrants. I also wanted to send out a quick congratulations to Michelle Yeoh. She was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by Joe Biden, which is the nation's highest civilian honor, presented to individuals who have made exemplary contributions to the prosperity, values, or security of the United States, world peace, or other significant societal, public, or private endeavors. Michael Bloomberg, Al Gore, Nancy Pelosi, and Phil Donahue were among some of the recipients. Michelle Yeoh started her entertainment career after winning the Miss Malaysia World Contest. She represented Malaysia in the Miss World pageant in 1983. She starred in a commercial for Guy Laroche watches alongside Jackie Chan. Her big screen debut was in the movie The Owl vs. Bumbo, followed by Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars. Her first lead role was in Yes, Madam in 1985. She took a 5-year break from acting before returning in Police Story 3, Super Cop, and re-establishing herself as a premier action star. Her Hollywood career began opposite James Bond in Tomorrow Never Dies, and 2 years later starred in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. She's since gone on to appear in Memoirs of a Geisha, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Empire, and Crazy Rich Asians. She became the first Asian woman to win Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So congratulations to Michelle Yeoh. On to the main attraction. Each review will end with a ranking out of 5 stars. 1 star is skip it, 2 stars watch at your own risk, 3 stars standard fare, 4 stars worth checking out, and 5 stars must see. Now, if I give a title 5 stars, it doesn't mean I'm comparing it to Casablanca, Jaws, or Seinfeld. I rank titles based on other movies or TV series in that genre and at that time period. On this episode of the podcast, I'll be reviewing Police Story from 1985. It was directed by Jackie Chan and Chi-Hwa Chen, who helmed Dance of Death, Love of the White Snake, Red Pirate, and Heavenly Legend. The screenplay was written by Jackie Chan and Edward Tang, who scribed Project A and its sequel, Super Cop, Rumble in the Bronx, and Mr. Nice Guy. It stars Jackie Chan as Inspector Chan Kakui. He was a child actor and made his big screen debut in Big and Little Wong Tin Bar at the age of 8. 10 years later, he appeared in 2 Bruce Lee films as an extra and stunt double in Fist of Fury and Enter the Dragon. He worked as a stunt coordinator for John Woo on The Young Dragons and as Tan Fang in Hand of Death. His breakthrough was in Snake in the Eagle's Shadow, where he was given full creative control of stunts. Chan made his directorial debut with The Fearless Hyena in 1979. His first foray into Hollywood included roles in The Big Brawl, The Cannonball Run, and The Protector, but would soon return to making films for the Hong Kong market. Due to the rise in popularity of home video, European and American audiences started to discover some of Jackie Chan's earlier work, and he became a bit of a cult figure. This led to his second foray into Hollywood with Rumble in the Bronx and Police Story 3: Super Cop, but it would be the buddy cop film Rush Hour which made him a bona fide star. He would go on to appear in Shanghai Noon, The Tuxedo, Around the World in 80 Days, The Spy Next Door, and a reboot of The Karate Kid. In 2016, he received an honorary Academy Award for extraordinary achievements in film. Police Story also features Bridget Lin, Maggie Cheung, Yuan Chor, Bill Tung, and Kent Tong. This is something to look out for. The mall that they were shooting at was close to opening, but they hadn't yet shot the pole stunt. The scene was captured in one take with 12 cameras rolling. So let's jump into it. During a briefing of the Royal Hong Kong Police Force, the members are introduced to images of businessman Chu Tao, who owns a nightclub, import-export service, and is a property developer. But he's also the head of a drug cartel who becomes their target. He's always accompanied by bodyguard Mad Wing, his nephew Danny Chu, advisor John Ko, and his secretary Selena Fong, who hasn't been part of the company for long. All his other employees are hired thugs. Their mission is to bring them all to justice for their crimes. The Royal Hong Kong Police Force coordinate a sting operation to catch Chu Tao during a drug deal, but the officer's cover is exposed, leading to a shootout and a high-speed chase. Inspector Chan Kakui is in pursuit of the businessman, and they wind up on a double-decker bus where he's arrested. Chief Inspector Raymond Lee is angered by the exposure of their operation and blames Chan Kakui for its breakdown. But he's presented in a positive light to the media, becoming the face of the Royal Hong Kong Police Force, and is given a promotion to sergeant. Raymond Lee wants to use Selena Fong as a cooperating witness, and asks Chan Kakui to protect her from any potential danger by Chu Tao's men. Here's a quote without context: "Don't be a cop if you want to live to 100. Police Story is an interesting chapter in the career of Jackie Chan. He was coming off the commercial failure, The Protector, and gave up trying to break into the US market. A lot was riding on this film, and Chan wanted to raise the bar for action movies. After a brief introduction to the characters, the fun begins with a lengthy sequence that includes a shootout among the city streets. The stunts are practical, there weren't any landing pads, it was very raw and real. The fight scenes are brilliantly coordinated, planned chaos. I think today's viewers might get bored, probably check their phone a few times, but in the context of the period, these were never-before-seen stunts that wowed audiences. My only real criticism was the tone of the film. The balance felt a bit off. I wasn't sure if this was supposed to be a serious thriller or a Beverly Hills Cop type comedy. And sometimes it felt slapstick in moments where it shouldn't. Some of the movements of the actors felt unrealistic. Like in the opening scene, the cops were shooting guns as they were leaping in the air. I don't think that's textbook in any country. Despite this, it's an impressive film. And if you've only seen the American releases like Rumble in the Bronx or Rush Hour, you're missing an important chapter in Chan's career. And you can see the evolution of his fight style and stunt coordination. The credits include bloopers and behind the scenes from the film, so stick around for that. This was inspired by the Cannonball Run, which Jackie Chan has a small role in. Now for a little trivial trivia. Jackie Chan received several burns, injured his back, dislocated his pelvis, and was hospitalized after flipping over a balcony and crashing through a display. Yeah, that'll do it. Police Story was the first film produced by Jackie Chan's company, Golden Way Films. It was filmed in Hong Kong, China. The cinematography was captured by Yu Su Xiang, whose filmography includes The Postman Strikes Back, Fists of Fury, and Drunken Master 2. It was edited by Yu Chung Chiang, who worked on The Way of the Dragon, Bruce Lee, The Legend, Rumble in the Bronx, and First Strike. The score was composed by Su Tin Lai for the original film, Kevin Bassenson for the international version, and J. Peter Robinson on the New Line Cinema home video release. The soundtrack featured the song Hero Story, which was performed by Jackie Chan and topped the charts in China. The runtime is 1 hour 40 minutes. It had a budget of $2 million and grossed $18.7 million at the box office. It won Best Picture at the Hong Kong Film Awards in 1986. It was followed by 4 sequels: Police Story 2, Police Story 3 Super Cop, Super Cop 2, and First Strike. A reboot launched in 2004 with New Police Story, and a sequel, Police Story 2013, in 2013. All starred Jackie Chan. On the Ski Index, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. As a side note, I do my best to research all the proper pronunciations of people's names, and you've heard my outtakes. It's tough for me to pronounce everyday names, so if I happen to have the wrong pronunciations of any of these names, it is not for lack of trying. If you've seen Police Story and have opinions on the movie, let me know what you think using the hashtag MattWatchThat. Moving right along, each episode, I'm gonna post clips that I think people should watch. It could be movie trailers, music videos, interviews, or something completely random. Search for my YouTube page and there'll be a playlist called Matt Watch That Playback. Deftones is an alternative rock band from Sacramento, California. They were formed in 1988 by lead singer Camilo Wong Moreno, nicknamed Chino, guitarist Stephen Carpenter, bassist Dominic Garcia, and drummer Abe Cunningham. By 1991, Chi Cheng joined as a replacement bassist. They started playing shows in the San Francisco and Los Angeles areas, and were signed by Maverick Records, who released their debut album, Adrenaline, in 1995. 2 singles, 7 Words and Bored, helped the album peak at 23 on the US Heatseekers chart. The song Teething didn't make the album, but appeared on the soundtrack for the superhero sequel, The Crow, City of Angels. Their second album, Around the Fur, would hit stores in 1997. It would reach number 29 on the US Billboard 200 chart, behind the singles My Own Summer, Shove It, and Be Quiet and Drive, Far Away. Frank Delgado added turntables to 5 songs on the album and became an official member in 1999. Their next album, White Pony, would be their breakthrough. The single Change in the House of Flies peaked at number 3 on the alternative songs and number 9 on the mainstream rock tracks charts. The song Elite won the Grammy Award for Best Metal Performance. The album reached number 3 on the Billboard 200 and be certified platinum. Their next release, Saturday Night Wrist, is my favorite album of theirs. The song Hole in the Earth helped the album achieve platinum status, and was featured in Guitar Hero 3, Rock Band, Saints Row, and the movie This Is the End. They've since released another 4 albums, the last one in 2020, and continue to tour. Chino Moreno is of Mexican and Chinese descent. He goes by the nickname Chino, which is the Spanish word for Chinese. I would consider him one of the better alternative rock singers. He's got such a powerful voice, and you can hear every single emotion coming through. I first heard the band on the Los Angeles radio station K-Rock, and have been a fan ever since. So I picked a couple of songs that really showcase their abilities. They're all available in the Matt Watch That Playback playlist on YouTube. Check it out. Now it's time for the recommendation. Yes, that's the word recommendation with Matt in the middle. I'm going to end each podcast with my own recommendation of a movie or TV series. Today I'm talking about Hard Target from 1993. It tells the story of Natasha Binder, who travels to New Orleans to find her estranged father when she's attacked by muggers. She's saved by a homeless man, Chance Boudreaux, who happens to be a U.S. Marine Corps veteran and skilled martial artist. He agrees to assist Natasha in finding her missing father before wealthy businessman Emile Fouchon hunts him down for sport. It stars Jean-Claude Van Damme, Lance Henriksen, and Yancey Butler. It also features Arnold Vosloo, Cassie Lemons, Willie C. Carpenter, and Chuck Farr, who also wrote the screenplay. It was the English-language directorial debut for John Woo. He started as a script supervisor at Cathay Studios in 1969, before becoming an assistant director at Shaw Studios. In 1974, his first feature film, The Young Dragons, was released with action sequences choreographed by Jackie Chan. He would go on to direct action flicks A Better Tomorrow, The Killer, Bullet in the Head, and Hard Boiled. Hard Target was the first major Hollywood studio movie to be helmed by an Asian director. Despite his experience in his native Hong Kong, Universal was still nervous and hired Sam Raimi to oversee the production. But the shoot went smoothly, and the only hitch was securing an R rating from the MPAA, which required significant cuts. The film was a success with audiences and earned $74 million on a $20 million budget. Woo's next venture was Broken Arrow with John Travolta and Christian Slater. He would go on to direct action sci-fi Face Off, action thriller Mission Impossible 2, and war film Windtalkers. Hard Target is a first-rate action film, which has all the John Woo signature style that he refined in Hong Kong, and introduced American audiences a new approach to the genre. It is ultra-violent and over-the-top in some places, and the acting leaves little to be desired, but it's a fun film for action aficionados. So suspend your disbelief and enjoy the ride. That's all for this edition of Matt Watch That. Thanks for listening to me babble. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've discussed or suggestions as to what movie or TV pilot I should see, use the hashtag MattWatchThat on social. Head over to mattseroski.com for all the latest news and updates, and come back next time for the reviews, rants, and randomness. Michael Bloomberg, Al Gore, Nancy Pelosi, and Phil Donahue were among some of the percipients. His first foray into Hollywood included roles in The Big Bang. That's where you start making things up, Matt. His breakthrough was in Snake and the Eagle's Shadow. That was like a combination of saddle and shadow, which I have no idea where it came from.